Hello, and welcome to Did You Know Gaming Extra. Developers and publishers can show creativity outside of just the content of their games. One example of this can be seen with a clever jab at those who purchased The Bard's Tale on PS2, Xbox, or PC. On the game's disc is the line, "For a really disturbing image, flip disc over." This was of course intended as a joke, as flipping the disc over would reveal nothing but its reflective surface, and, like a mirror, show a reflection of whoever was in front of it. This wasn't the only gimmick to be featured on a game disc. Some publishers even use their game discs to help immerse a player in other ways, as can be seen, or rather smelt, with FIFA 2001. The game's PlayStation 1 disc featured a special scratch and sniff feature physically on the disc itself. When scratched, the coating released the odour of soccer field turf, but seemingly only in the PAL region. Another game that experimented with the scratch and sniff tech was Gran Turismo 2, but again only in the PAL region. In Europe, the game came on 2 discs, one red arcade mode disc and a GT mode disc that was blue. Gently rubbing the blue disc with your hand or a cloth would release the scent of rubber and fuel to replicate the pit stop smell. Like you turn your PlayStation on and it's just the smell of burning rubber. Anyway, even Nintendo had experimented with scratch and sniff in the manual for Earthbound on the Super Nintendo, but another developer planned to use the tech before Gran Turismo, FIFA, or even Earthbound were in development. At one point, Hideo Kojima actually wanted to coat the floppy disks of his 1988 adventure game Snatcher in a chemical that when heated in the computer would give off the smell of blood. This was to give the stench of a murder scene and make the game more immersive. Another game with some interesting disc shenanigans is Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the original PlayStation. The team at Konami wanted to give the players a little bonus treat with the data on their disc, and made it so that putting the disc into a CD player, or booting it through the PlayStation's CD player menu would play a message. When played, the game's protagonist, Alucard, can be heard saying,
"As you can see, this is a PlayStation black disc. Cut number 1 contains computer data, so please don't play it. But you probably won't listen to me anyway, will you?"
The track will then proceed with the music that's been playing throughout this video. The next bit of trivia isn't quite about what's on a game's disc, but rather what's on the game's box art. Phoenix Games, who made the terrible PlayStation 2 game, Peter Pan, are known for their shovelware, but in recent times, they've also been exposed for their repeated acts of plagiarism. If you look closely at the background in Peter Pan's box art, you might realise that the island is actually taken straight from the official artwork of Kingdom Hearts Destiny Islands. Cheeky. How do they think they'll get away with it though? And for today's random piece of trivia, we're going way back to the 1989 NES game Dragon Spirit: The New Legend. During the final moments of the game's good ending, Princess Iris can be seen riding upon the dragon's head. In the Japanese version of the game, pressing the select button 20 times will cause Iris's skirt to lift up and give everyone a little look. This little secret was removed from the game's international releases for obvious reasons, but the sprite of Iris's skirt lifting up still remains in the game's data. That's all for today, but if you enjoyed this video, how about checking the 2 other videos on screen right now? I've just read it wrong. That's all for today, but if you enjoyed this video, how about checking out the 2 other videos that are on screen right now?